here is ready to see some sword fighting? What we are going to be showing you today is called HEMA, Historical European Martial Arts. The particular part of HEMA that we are going to be showing off today is called blossfechten, or unarmored fencing. What does that mean? That means this is the kind of fighting that you would be expected to do in your street clothes. Right now, we are wearing a little bit more padding because we want to be able to keep doing this more than once at a time. So you may notice that we are wearing heavy jackets. Yes, these are like winter jackets. No, this is not winter weather. We're still luckier than the Buher people who are wearing winter jackets, plus an insulating oven on top of that. So we're going to be treating every hit that we take as though it is going to be actually dangerous to our bodies. I can go up to one of the Buhurt guys, smack them on the head with this sword a whole bunch of times. It's not going to stop them. However, if me, without a mask, takes a shot to the top of the head, guess what happens? I'm not losing any more brain cells. I've lost all the ones I can afford to, but I'm still going to be losing points on that. So we have our fencing masks, our gloves, and our hard shins. We're trying to keep ourselves together as much as we can while we're doing this. But you're going to see that this is a full range martial art. We are not just making this up in our backyards. Most of what we are going to be doing is coming out of books written anywhere between about 1300 all the way through the 1800s by masters who used these weapons in real situations, and we are trying to recreate that martial art. You're going to see cuts, you're going to see thrusts, you're going to see some grappling. We're going to be moving around a lot. You're going to see a lot of footwork. This is much like modern Olympic fencing, except our swords are, well, a lot bigger, and they hit a lot harder. So, who here is ready to see some sword fighting? So the first weapon we are going to show off is one of everybody's favorites. This is the long sword. This was used anywhere from about 1300 to around 1550. This is what most people think of when they think of sword. This is the sword. It is a two-handed weapon. You can use it one-handed. It is light enough to be used like that. Despite what a lot of people think, this is only about 3.5 pounds. But you're going to see that we're not only going to use it for its blade, for its tip. We can use the pommel. We can use the cross. The whole sword is a weapon, and you're going to see us do some of those techniques. Another thing to note, none of what we're doing is scripted. This is not a choreographed show. This is how we spar, with the exception of when we spar, we try not to do it in 90-degree heat. So, if you see someone pass out, let's hope that it's only from heat stroke and not from concussions today.
And I'll be taking over and commentating on this while our Meister shows off. He's putting on his fencing mask so he doesn't lose an eye. And our other fencer needs to get into his corner.
That corner for the camera.
And make it pretty.
That's a heavy hit.
Alright, fencer's ready. Fence. And you see here, they're measuring each other out, and that is a cut to the hand. May not have looked like much because we were covering the, because we cover ourselves very well, but that hit the hand, and the fencer is also acknowledging that it hit the head afterwards. Halt. That was 2 hits right to our Maestro's head. And you can see that did not end well for the fencer that threw his sword. That is the pocket sand of the HEMA world. It does appear in manuals, but it is mostly a distraction, and if the other fencer is ready for it, as you saw here, you're gonna lose your head.
That's got potassium, magnesium, and zinc, and then the salt. Basically puts everything back in the
Halt! And that little tappy tap right to the face is going to go straight through that face into the brain. halt, and they both cut each other across the bellies. They're gutted. They're not going to have a good day tomorrow. Halt, and those are some heads.
In like a grenade type way.
Halt, and Gray Fencer is trying to do something clever there, show off his sword, give some bait, and Red Fencer didn't fall for it, just cut straight through, covered himself with that piece of steel he has to protect himself while cutting his opponent. And you see, that is our goal, because we have one piece of steel protecting us from our opponent's piece of steel. And halt, that was a cut to the hand from Gray Fencer. And continue. Now, those cuts to the hand may not seem like much effort. That's a cut to the head. But here, we think of them as severing tendons. They're going to end your fight. Halt. And that was a slight tap to the head, largely failed parry, but that follow-up cut to the belly was definitely good and is definitely going to leave Gray Fencer on the ground. Halt. And yeah, that cut to the head works. Bounced off into the belly because we have good protective equipment, but yeah, that brain is gone. And that was thrust straight through the body. And our fencers are done in longsword, and I'm going to gear up and come in there for some messer.
So, ladies and gentlemen, what did you think of the longsword? That is probably the most common weapon taught in HEMA today. Why? Because it's cool. Everybody likes it. And all sorts of fun and nasty ways to beat up your friends. Next weapon we are going to be showing off is this. This is called the Messer. Literally translated into German, it means knife. So if any of your Aussie friends ever tell you, that's not a knife, you can tell them, dieses eine Messer ist. This is a knife. So, what you may notice about this weapon, it is single-handed. That means our fighters are going to be closer together. It means that their offhand is going to be free. That means there are going to be things like grapples and grabs happening. They're able to use the weapon in a lot of unique and interesting ways as they get close to each other. Ladies and gentlemen, you ready to see some Messer? Fencers, fence. Red going in very aggressive to start off. Black trying to keep her off. Oh, so we saw Black with the shot to the leg. Red continuing forward with the shot to the head. Now in the world of HEMA, we have a bunch of different rule sets. Under our rule set, 2 points for the shot to the head, 1 point for the shot to the leg. It's total 1 point Red Fencer. Fence is ready. Fence. Both of them fighting for control of the center, trying to control the ring. Halt! Red Fencer binds up Black Fencer, uses that offhand to wrap over, grabbing onto Black Fencer's sword hand, controlling that weapon, making it safe for Red Fencer to strike to the top of Black Fencer's head. It's gonna be 2 points, Red Fencer. Ready, fence. So, Red Fencer came in with a thrust there, transmuted the thrust, turned it into a cut to the hand. May not have seemed like much. It was a very quick and subtle action, but that quick cut to the hand means that there are going to be severed tendons here. This is not a fun way to start your day. That's going to be 1 point Red Fencer. Ready, fence.
Has it been used?
Oh. Black Fencer is acknowledging Red Fencer's Unterhau, undercut, hit to the hand. That's going to be 1 more point, Red Fencer. Ready, fence. Black Fencer coming in a little more aggressively. Oh. So, Black fencer got that cut to the body. Then there was a beat as red fencer brought her sword up and around to get that stab in. We're going to call that stab to the top of the head out of tempo because she was busy being eviscerated. She probably didn't have the wherewithal to think about getting a stab while you're getting your guts cut out. Let's give him one more, guys. People, let's hear it for our fencers. Ready, fence. So, what we saw there was, they're just tied up.
Oh.
There we go. Sometimes that happens where between our weapons and our equipment, we get locked up on each other and we don't want to let go. But what you saw there, red got a thrust to the mask and then transitioned into a grapple. While she was transitioning into that grapple, black came down with a shot to the belly. This time black is out of tempo after the initial thrust, because once you're stabbed in the face, you're probably not going to be doing too much more. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for our Messer Fencers! The next weapons that we are bringing out are also a one-handed weapon. This is going to be the arming sword and buckler. The buckler is a small shield. It's the kind that you could carry around daily, something that you could actually have inside the town and wasn't hard for you to carry around as a way to protect yourself. Nobody's walking around town carrying their 15-foot-long pike. And if you were, it's not going to help you very much. There's a lot of places you can't take a 15-foot pike. So this is more of what you would consider your everyday carry. This is a self-defense weapon. So, one more fun thing. The buckler is where the buckle in swashbuckling comes from. The swash is the onomatopoeia for the sound a sword makes when you swing it, and the buckle is the buckler trying to defend you. So you're going to see them using these weapons together. This is a weapon system, not just two separate items. Fencers, you ready? Fence. Both fencers coming in defensively. Red fencer trying to test out how green's going to react. Both of them control the opponent's attack with their own shield. Oh! So, red had an attempted attack to the head. It was parried. Green cuts down to the leg. Red then cuts over the top to the head. All of that happens in tempo. That's going to be 1 point red fencer. Ready, fence. Oh! Green fencer, being shorter, really likes taking off the legs. Red fencer's not stopping her, so she's going to keep eating those legs all day. Red fencer, you might want to know, she's probably coming for your legs. Ready, fence. Halt! As red fencer gets ready to defend his legs, holding his shield down by his legs, he gets hit in the head. That's called playing mind games. And yes, we actually do use strategy. We think about what we are doing. We are not just beating each other in the head with swords. Beating each other in the heads with swords is, as you just saw, part of it. But the most important part is outthinking your opponent. This is a game of very complex chess where you're trying to get them to do exactly what you want to, like putting their shield down so you can hit their head. Ready, fence. So, red fencer came in with that big sweeping cut, comes down with a lot of momentum. Green fencer attempted to parry, but red fencer got through, shot to the head. Might not have been completely debilitating, but a good shot to the top of the head with a sharp sword, I will tell you, does hurt. I have scalped myself doing that, and I'm going to say that's the reason for the rest of my bald spot. It has nothing to do with male pattern baldness. Ready, fence.
All right.
There we saw, red defends the incoming cut to his head, at the same time gets a thrust to the throat. It's gonna be 2 more points for red. Let's have one more good exchange, guys. People, give it up for your fencers. Ready, fence. So, we We saw a green fencer go for the leg, her preferred target. But since she was attacking the leg, she couldn't protect her head at the same time. Red decided to go high. That's 2 points minus 1. That is 1 point for red fencer. Let's hear it for our sword and buckler fencers. So Olivia is coming out now with a weapon that we refer to as the Montante, also known as the Zweihander, also known as the Great Sword, also known as the Heckin' Big Boy. This is the biggest, heaviest sword that we use. It is not used generally for one-on-one sparring. Why? Because it is the biggest and heaviest sword that we use. This particular one hurts a lot. The biggest way to use this weapon is with momentum. Notice how she's using her whole body with every single swing. You do not want to get hit by that. What she is doing is she's clearing away the area. This weapon was used for 2 major things. One is if you have someone in a pike formation. You use that and you are trying to beat the pikes out of the way to make room for your pikemen to come in and get their own thrust. The other thing it's used for is keeping lots of people at bay. It's often used as a defense weapon against a very important person. Because, do any of you want to walk in close to that? No, it seems really dumb. So, since none of you want to do it, I'm going to be dumb enough to do it. But since I'm not quite dumb enough to take on a sword that big on my own, I'm going to have Nate come in here, and Nate and I are both going to be using side swords. A side sword, also known as the spadaiado, it is a weapon that was used at the same time as that Montante, and as you may notice, quite a bit smaller. This is a transition weapon between the arming sword that you just saw and the later style rapier. This one is a little more thrusty than a arming sword, a little more cutty than you would have with a rapier. And we're going to try to 2v1 this and pray for our heads.
We've got a couple great swords.
I'm also going to set myself up.
Oh, yeah, that was fine.
I had to get it something. Well, I can go ahead and lose some brain cells.
That way you can save the grappling for the main game.
You can use this great voucher on your plan.
For everybody else.
So, I got a shot to her hand. She got a shot to my head. That sword was already in motion. That's not going to stop it from coming in. None of you prayed for my head hard enough. Let's try this again with more head protection.
They just sink to the bottom.
I got cut to the hand. Now Nate is all by himself. And he managed to get that cut to the hand. Let's hear it for Nate. Yeah! Let's give him one more shot.
Hey there, hold there.
I think Nate is acknowledging that he's dead. We didn't want him knocking this over. But I'm seeing a problem here. Her sword is twice as big. That seems like it's unfair, doesn't it?
It was also hard to falling. They just
Her sword is twice as big. Maybe I just need twice as many swords. Notice. Catch it on the sword. Pass it off. Striking around. I survived one. Let's try that again.
Last show, make it a light show.
That time I didn't. I got stabbed in the belly.
Make a light show.
What does that tell me? I need to do more crunches.
we're gonna throw in like a bunch of physical lights on the road.
Make it a light show because we have seen.
There was an undercut. There's a body there. You You can see, two swords. It's hard to deal with only one. And unlike me and Nate, I can use both of them together. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for our fencer! So, what do y'all think of historical fencing? So, we represent Columbus United Fencing Club out of, guess it, Columbus. We have our tent set up right over there. We have our historical manuals over there. We have a bunch of swords you can look at. We have fighters you can talk to ask about the fight. If anyone has any questions, please feel free to come see us over our tent at 3:30. We're going to have Wilbur back here in the field of battle. They're going to be showing armored fencing. It is a very different style of fighting. Ladies and gentlemen, have a wonderful dance there.